Hello, welcome you all. I am Dr. Asha Rani, Assistant Professor R.H. Patel English Medium B.Ed College, Faculty of Education, Gandhinagar. And today we are going to have a very interesting topic, that is LPC 2, Reading, Meaning, Types and Purposes. Before we start this topic, let us see and observe the video. Yes, you have seen this video. Now this video clip has been taken from a very famous movie, that is Tare Zameen Par, directed by Amir Khan. And this clip really matters to all of us who are teachers of language. Now this video clip shows that Ishan, a poor boy who has learning disorders, and the main disorder that is facing is dyslexia. But then too he tries to read, but he says to his teacher that the letters are dancing. So in reading, what happens is that whenever we start reading certain things, it appears like our words, our letters are dancing before us. That is the realistic view of a child when he faces these kind of things. So let us understand today what is the concept of reading, types, purpose, increasing reading speed and barriers to reading speed. So what is a concept, or what do you mean by reading? Reading means like we are understanding some written symbols and we are interpreting the meaning, right? So let us see that reading is a process of looking into written symbols and getting the meaning out of it, meaning like the interpretation, understanding what does this letter wants to say, gathering the knowledge or gathering the information. So the basic purpose of reading is to gather information or understanding the things properly in its natural way. Now when we say reading, reading means it can be silent reading, it can be oral reading. But let us see the concept of reading. Reading is a dynamic process, it never ends. Okay, so let's see the types of reading. Now types of reading consist of two types. One is oral reading and the other is silent reading. Oral reading, you might be very much familiar that when we were children, now also in schools, children have this oral reading, that is also known as loud reading. Each and every language teacher, whether it is English teacher or Sanskrit teacher or Hindi teacher, Gujarati, any language teacher introduces model reading in the class. Now the teacher sets an example before the students that how to read a certain paragraph properly with pronunciation, with proper punctuation, accent, stress, intonation. By gathering this all information and putting into the live experiences, the students read the paragraph. And when the students read the model reading, they read it loud. Yes, so we all have experienced these kind of things in our school days when the teacher used to ask us stand up and read, and while we are reading, the teachers are doing their correction in our speech. Not only that, we also understand the things more clearly when we do oral reading, that is the loud reading kind of thing. And that's why each and every school in the primary classes, all the teacher recommends model reading whenever it comes to languages. Now let us see the silent reading. Now silent reading, types of silent reading. Very interesting are these four types. Number one is skimming, number two is scanning, number three is intensive reading, and number four is extensive reading. Now let us talk about skimming. Mostly skimming means here that it refers when we want to extract certain amount of information just by going through it, like for an example, reading the title, reading the paragraphs, overtly paragraphs, then the subtitles, or the towards the end summarization. So we get the whole idea about what is going into that. So we are not going into the detail, but just coming from the top to bottom. So that type of reading is known as skimming. Now let us understand the examples of skimming so it can be very much realistic to what I am explaining to you all. Now skimming means, this is a very interesting thing, that newspaper, yes, as soon as the newspaper comes to your home, everybody takes their newspaper things and goes to their interesting things. For an example, we just go through the headlines, what is happening, we don't go into the deep of those paragraphs. And when we don't go into the deep, just going to the headings, then it is one kind of skimming. We are just understanding what is there in that title, and we coherently think that it is related to that paragraph. So newspapers are there, then we have magazines, then we have business brochures, travel board brochures. So we are just going to the headlines, the titles, and towards the end understands, okay, it is important. So what is that type of reading? That type of reading is known as skimming, right? So skimming means understanding the main points, bold points, italics points, the basic points that are needed, and just we are getting into that idea, okay, this is there in that content. Very good example of skimming is that when we go into any departmental stores, we often pick up any kind of stuff that we want, a product, and then we just see that what is there in that. And mostly housewives, children, or the adults, they'll just look into the expiry date. So what is that? That is one kind of understanding the information, what is there in that. So that is also known as one kind of skimming. Next we will go for scanning. Scanning is like the scanning machine. Scanning means most important is your eyes. You are scanning the information that is needed for you, that is applicable for you. The best example I can give you is that during exams, most of the students scan the information, right? They scan the information which is applicable to the questions asked. So scanning means just extracting the important things and then putting into the important brackets that are required. So scanning means the things that is scanned by your eyes which are very important. For an example, when you are doing a comprehension, especially in English, we are doing scanning like that. There are questions asked after a passage. So we go to the question, understand the question. What we do? We scan the important things from the passage and we attribute it. Okay, this is the response of this first question. So this is also scanning. So let us see the examples of scanning. The best examples that are very relevant, they are airplane schedule. We do the moment we get the ticket, we just scroll the scan our eyes that where is the terminal, where we have to go. Okay, so we are collecting only the major information that are required for the time period. Then the train schedule, conference brochures, and itinerary. So these are the things mainly that we do in scanning. So dear friends, scanning means like a scanning machine. We are extracting the information that are required for that particular time period or for the particular relationship that we are attaching to that particular context. Next, we have intensive reading. Now, intensive reading, as the name itself suggests, intensive. That means the need of the hour. Whenever we are doing intensive reading, it is the reading of the urgency. For an example, exams are in the pipeline. So we are going to read. So we are reading only those IMPs. So these IMPs, what we are doing, we are intensively reading those things only and we are ignoring those things. That which matters to us, that which is important to us, we are focusing on those things. That is known as intensive reading, as the name suggests. Next is, you can see that there are a lot of examples given like reports, insurance claim. Yes, whenever we subscribe for an insurance, we generally see the nominee, we generally see how many quarterly we have to pay, periodly we have to pay, yearly we have to pay. So we are going to see only those things. We are not going into the rules and everything. So that is only the known as intensive thing. And yes, as I told you, sometimes when we are on the verge of examination and we are learning certain things, then we are doing intensive kind of reading. Next is very interesting reading, and that is known as extensive reading. Extensive, as the name suggests, extensive, that means when you are reading, there is like a pleasure of reading. You take interest in reading. For an example, there is a book flood and you want to really get into the characters, get into the imaginary things, and you are really taking interest into that. There is an urge of learning without any constraint. That is known as extensive reading. Generally, you can see that those who are interested in languages, those who are interested in storybooks, those who are interested in fairy tales, they always do extensive reading because they are interested in reading those stuff. So extensive reading means the reading when you are reading for pleasure, reading for interest, and reading for your energy that boosts up into you to read further more. So extensive reading, my dear friends, is that reading for pleasure, reading for more knowledge, gathering for more information which you think is necessary for you. Right? So let us see the examples. Now, as I said, extensive reading can be novels, your interesting books, comic books, story books, fairy tales, etc. Or you are interested in certain languages, you read certain language books, literature books. Okay, whichever interest you feel, you take the pleasure in it. There is no constraint for that. So, understanding the basic difference between intensive reading and extensive reading, most of the times it comes in the exam also. What is the difference between intensive reading and extensive reading? So here you can see that there is a comparison chart. The first column is basis for comparison. First is extensive reading and other is intensive reading. The first is meaning. Meaning, as I told you, that extensive reading is an approach to language learning in which long test. So extensive means you are taking interest in that, you are taking so much of pleasure in reading, and it is always a long narratives that you are interested in. Whereas intensive reading means there is a short text, the need of urgency, the need of importance that you are reading for, right? So most of the times intensive readings are short text, points and factors, discriminations, etc. Then the nature. Extensive reading is supplementary. That means you are reading for reading as an interest, reading as an hobby, and you feel so much rejuvenated after reading that it becomes a supplement for you. And intensive reading is something that is comprehensive. You read for getting information and quick application of that information into that thing that is very much necessary. Next is a purpose. The reading of novels. As I said, in extensive reading, we are reading novels, magazines, like in newspapers. As I told you earlier, the moment the newspaper comes to your place, what happens? Everybody have their own zones. Like children pick up their sports zones, elderly pick up their what is happening in politics, the stockbrokers pick up their things which is money and inflations, demand and rise, and women or men, they go for Bollywood, Hollywood type of things. So they are going to extensively reading about those things. Whereas intensive reading is the textbook reading. That means allotted topics, allotted things that are given to particular subject, and you are getting into that because it carries marks. Yes, so intensive readings are purposive reading, we can also say like that, and extensive reading is, we can say, is a pleasure reading. Now we can say the material selection. Now here, my dear friends, material selection means here in extensive reading, the material is selected by us depending on our choice, on our interest, and the pleasure of reading. Whereas intensive reading, it is decided, recommended by the teachers or by the board or by your counselors to read, right? So extensive reading mainly have lot of freedom to read, lot of time to read, but intensive reading have a particular time, stipulated time in which you have to read, and it is always and always recommended by your teachers. Then involvement. Extensive reading gives an array of reading. That means it gives lot of opportunity to read various kinds of book. So because it doesn't have any time constraint, you're reading for pleasure, so it has an array of books. Whereas in intensive reading, there is a limited text you have to read, and maybe from that information you have to appear in certain ways. So reading a number of books, there is an opportunity whenever you are doing extensive reading. I have seen that many people write that reading is their hobby. Yes, so reading is a hobby. That means you are reading a lot. You are a voracious reader, an avid reader. So if you want to be a voracious reader, avid reader, go for extensive reading. But if you are more concentrating on the content and getting more marks and settling down all the scores, then you should go for intensive reading. Now let us come to a very next segment, that is a purpose of reading. Why we are reading? What is the advantage of reading? Why we read? Yes, so whenever we are reading, even when you are traveling, you are in a bus, right? And you come across lot of hoarding, and some of the hoarding just goes by, and some of the hoarding that are very interesting, you really switch your eyes to on that, because that gives some discount, or that gives something that is very interesting. Okay, so every now and then we read, right from the morning to the moment we go to bed in night, we are doing reading only, right? For an example, the morning you wake up, what happens? You see the alarm, you read it. What happens? Nowadays it is a digital world, and it is the generation Z. So what happens? You scroll onto the WhatsApp, you read the messages. Okay, so our day starts with reading, my dear friends, right? So let us understand the purpose of reading. Reading is a complex mental task. Because it is a complex mental task, you utilize your brain. And when you utilize your brain, it increases your concentration. It gives an extra hand to pay attention. So the first is, reading is a complex mental task, because in that it involves so much of things like understanding the letters first and foremost, understanding the words, interpreting the meaning, comprehending the particular word into that context. Yes, so it is a complex mental task, but if we eat slowly and slowly, everything is digestible. So is with reading. If we read with proper understanding of the phrases, the sentences, structures, the punctuation, it becomes easy for us. So I can give you a very good example for this. Everybody knows is Albert Einstein. So he was also an avid reader. So it gives an extra boost up of reading. When you read, new task comes to your mind, you create an imaginary situation, and you get a lot of things into the man's or the world's interaction with you and with the world. So it's a two-way process that you are doing when you are reading, even though it's a complex mental task. And one of the finest example is Albert Einstein. Now let us see, very interesting. Reading improves discipline and memory. And those who feel that their memory is very short, memory is very good, or memory is fluctuating, start reading. Because reading helps to boost up your memory. You read oftenly, you get to know a lot of new things, remembering the details, remembering the characters, remembering the plots, and more. Do you know who is a famous cartoonist? The creator of Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. Yes, my dear friends, is Walt Disney. He was also a good reader, because by reading he came across a lot of characters, lot of plots, lot of imaginary things, and he created this situation with the help of reading lots and lots of books. So if you are interested and you want to really recreate your creativity, then why are waiting for? Go on for reading. Next, reading builds self-esteem. That is very true. When you have self-esteem, you gain more knowledge, which leads to confidence. And when you are confident, it generally boosts up your self-esteem. And who can be a very good example? Yes, Helen Keller. Helen Keller was blind and deaf, but she was an avid reader. And because of reading all the books that came across in her life, she was able to build up such a very nice personality of herself and set a very good example to others, right? So it boosts self esteem and it gives more knowledge, which leads to more confidence. Purpose of reading continues. Reading is important because it gives you new horizons. We can say creativity. So new things comes up, new challenges comes in your life. But if you are an avid reader, you can always challenge those things. You can get solution to those things. All the famous personalities, nationalists, politicians, actors, actresses, they all are good readers. So, reading is an extra step for creating and rejuvenating creativity. So, let us see who is this Martin Luther King, Nobel Prize winner and the challenge task master. He was also an avid reader and he used to seek inspirations from various books. So, when you read about Martin Luther, you will find that he was also a good reader. And by reading, he was able to give challenges and he was accomplished in his task, right? Now, reading improves vocabulary. Yes, nowadays we are running short of vocabulary because we are into this Zen world and we are into this digital world. We are writing short forms and we have our own digital short forms and we are into it. So we are actually not good in our vocabulary. So you can get a pool of words when you read. And when you start reading, you get new words. And when you understand these new words, you can put it into the suggestions. You can put it into your speech. You can incorporate very nicely. So cohesive and coherent things can only happen if you have good vocabulary. You have the asset if you have good vocabulary. So who gives this vocabulary? Books. So you start reading books, you will get new words which build up your vocabulary. Do you know who is the great person who has a very good vocabulary? No doubt everybody has good vocabulary, but what I have researched is that yes, everyone knows this person, right? President Barack Obama, right? He is having a very good vocabulary. No doubt others too have. In India, we have Shashi Tharoor, whose impeccable use of language and words are commendable. The same with Barack Obama. He speaks in very simple language which touch the sense and the psyche of a person, and he really can cultivate with his views a new things that really tilts the imagination of a person. So Barack Obama is also good in his vocabulary. Why? Because he is also an avid reader. So the purpose of reading is mental task, is creativity, collecting new words, updating your vocabulary, and yes, using it in the right context. Reading increases imagination. You have seen the poets, poetess, writers, script writers, they all have a good library. They all read books. And reading enhances imagination. Any reading you do in your life, every day you do, it always gives a new imagination. Have you ever wondered that when you are reading any kind of short story, for an example, Chacha Chaudhary, the comic clip, if you are reading, you are getting into that fantasy, you are getting into that imaginary world, and you see the characters through your eyes. There is an instant connection with you and the author if you start reading with its proper contextual meaning. So, yes, we have Oprah Winfrey. She is a very famous, orator, chat show, very famous chat show she has, and she is ranked among the top influential personalities. So she is also a good reader, and she has said that I love books. I think books open window to the world for all of us. So that is how we should look into the book. Each and every book we read It always opens a new horizon for us, a new world for us, and we create a mental picture for those things. Next, as I said, it broadens your horizon. It gives insight into diversity and other cultures. Very famous pop singer, Lewinson, he is also a reader. It's very interesting to know that singers are good readers. Why? Because they come across a lot of books into their life and they get new words, new imagination, and they pen it down. Reading, my dear friends, is only fruitful when you start collecting all those words, contextual meanings, mental pictures, and put it into your verses into the right context. So, yes, songwriters, lyricists, they all read to enhance their creativity. So, the purpose of reading is to get into the imagination. Reading helps to develop a strong sense of character. Before this digital world, we have seen that the generations that has passed by, their only source of knowledge was books. And because of reading those books, even the great leaders, teachers, politicians, they all can mend their way because books were the source of inspiration and motivation for them. It also builds a strong sense of compassion. We get into the psyche of those things, right? So let's see who is this. Any guesses? Yes, one of the strong characters of Harry Potter, Rupert. Now, this boy is a famous actor and he has acted in all the series of Harry Potter. I know everybody knows it, but do you know that he is a great reader? He has said in one of his statements that by reading he started a sense of compassion for others, a sense of feeling for others, a sense of service for others. So when you start reading, all the emotions comes in an array and that really takes you into another world of humanity. So it also develops a strong compassion. Purpose of reading also improves your performance. Yes, when you are doing any kind of performance, whether it is theatrical performance or whether you are giving a live performance, whether you are doing a radio jockey type of things, or whether you are a teacher or a professor or a leader or even a family man, a family person, a father, a grandfather, a child, anyone. But reading always improves your performance. You get to know new words, you get to know new contexts, you create your mental periphery in which you create a long list of what we say creation, creativity, and imagination. So, yes, the dashing actor of Hollywood, George Clooney. George Clooney is one of the nicest, finest actor of Hollywood. But whenever he reads, let me tell you one thing. When an actor performs, he can't perform randomly. He is assigned with certain tasks of dialogue delivery, which he has to read twice, thrice, and he needs to improvise in that particular scene. And when I give this example of George Clooney, he is one of the finest actors who goes through the script thrice, 4 times, 5 times, so that he can get into the skin of the character. He makes a layout of the person, who he is, what he is, and how he needs to perform. If you have seen the actor, actress of Hollywood as well as in Bollywood, if they are acting in a fixed context, they are doing a lot of research, they are reading a lot of stuff about them, and then they come into that character. So reading helps to improve their performance. So yes, reading really improves your performance, not only before the mass but also for yourself, your self-esteem. Now the very important thing is words are our everyday tools. So here everyday tools means the knowledge tools, the vocabulary tools. There are thousands and millions of words that we come across, and it is not coming across and seeing it. It is how you utilize those words in your daily life. how you make the words into such a way that the person who listens to you impressed by your way of channelizing your communication. So if you want to increase a level of communication, then you should jump into reading so that you can use reading as a tool for communicating also. You get a lot of information and you can decipher those information appropriately for the listener. Yes, everybody knows that he's the world number one rapper, songwriter, and pop singer Justin Bieber. When we see this glam world, we see that they don't read, they don't do anything, they just come on the stage and perform and leave. No, they have to do a lot of homework. They have to read, they have to write, and then they have to improvise. So the more they read, more they get information, and more they get information, it improves their performance. So it is not like that it's simply a cakewalk. You get into the stage, you deliver a lot of things, and you go away. No, it needs a lot of takeaways. It needs a lot of perseverance to get into that. So which thing that helps the most? Reading makes it happen most. Now we have understood reading, meaning, concept and purpose, and as well as types. Now we are moving to yet another interesting thing, and that is the segment of increasing reading speed and barriers to reading speed. Elvin Nielsen Wood, she was a school teacher and a researcher, and she found that how to read in speed with proper understanding, with proper interpretation of the meaning. And she could read up 2,700 word per minute. Now, as a researcher and a school teacher, she always wondered how it is possible to read fast with understanding all the words, with understanding all the situation, how it is possible. So she came up with a lot of new ideas and techniques which enhances the reading speed. So let us see. Now, what is speed reading? Speed reading, as the name suggests, is that when you are reading, you are recognizing the words, the letters, the phrases, the sentence, even the punctuations on a page at once, and you get to know all the meaning. So speed reading means quick reading of all the things very much in that rate of speed. So let us understand in detail. There are two ways. One is known as chunking and another is known as minimizing your sub-vocalization. Chunking means small children, when they are reading, the teachers insist in chunking. That means they make small units into a whole and they try to read those things. For an example, judgmental, judge plus mental, judgmental. So they divide into chunks and they make it as a whole. So that is known as chunking. Another is known as sub-vocalization. Now, mind of a person is a very complex thing. Whenever we read, for an example, we read anything, we start to create a certain imagination in our mind. So before you read the word, the mind itself starts to make frames. And that sometimes is very helpful, but at the times it is very much hampering your reading. So when you do soft vocalization, that means your inner mind is reading and making you understand. So you move on to the next word, it making you understand the next word. And it goes at such a rapid speed that you have to minimize your sub-vocalization. Sub-vocalization is good, but at times it is not good when you are reading, when you want to increase your speed in reading. Now you can see on the screen that calculating words per minute, there is a formula. Yes, we language teachers do have formulas like mathematics. So when you are reading, for an example, you read 1000 words in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So total is that change the time to seconds, that means we have 140 seconds, and then divide 1000 words by 140 seconds, that comes to something around 7.14, and by multiplying by 60 seconds it becomes 428.57, 428 words, almost 429 words. So you all will be thinking how it possible to read in such a speed and to calculate the minute and all. But the only mantra is that start reading. Whether you are in speed reading or you want to go for a speed reading or not to go for a speed reading, but at least start the juncture of reading because it enhances your personality. Now there is a chart, entire chart is given that how to assess your results. So I am not going into detail about those results, whether you are poor in reading or whether you are very good in reading. The only thing is that you start reading. So this is for your information that you can access yourself that how much you are good in your reading. Now, how to speed reading? This is a very good thing that if you are really interested in reading and you are thinking that how to increase your reading. How should I increase my reading? So the first thing is that focus on blocks of words rather than on individual ones. Okay, so you need to focus on block of words. For an example, if you are reading a stuff, your attention, your entire scanning should be on the block, the words which are unknown for you, and you have to grasp it, right? So you have to focus on the block of words rather than on individual ones. So the best thing is that do this whenever you are doing reading. What you have to do is to relax yourself, relax your face muscles, gaze it, softening and expanding the words given in that particular page. So the first thing that you have to do is to relax your face muscles and have a very calm and quiet atmosphere, or even you are not, but you should cultivate an interest in reading. So by doing this exercise, like having a very relaxing face, softening your face muscles and gazing on the things, it will increase your reading speed. Now there are two methods. One is the pointer method. I hope everyone knows this pointer method. When we were children, our teacher used to say, point on the words that you are reading. Point on your sentences you are reading, right? So pointer means to keep the tip of your finger and you are reading one by one the sentences, the words, the letter and understanding it. So pointer method is a very much useful method, and we all teachers use this method while we make our students to read so that it doesn't get distracted when we are reading. So this is one of the very interesting method, and I think that you should all apply for this pointer method to read well whenever you are reading any kind of stuff. Then we have tracker and pacer method. As the name suggests, tracker, you are tracking the lines, right? Whenever you are reading, you are tracking the lines. You are tracking each and every sentence that come across your eyes, you are tracking it. And then pacing. Pacing means moving slowly from one line to the other line. No doubt is like speed reading, but you are keeping your pace with the speed that you want to generate. So we generally keep a highlighter, or we generally flow that flap of pen or the bottom of the pen, and then we just go for tracking it and pacing the lines properly on the textbook or the novels or whatever things. And wherever you find the things are quite interesting, you lay lines on it. Okay, so these two methods are very interesting. One is pointer method and other method is the tracker and the pacer method. Now, all said and done, there are a lot of things that comes in between, and that things are known as the barriers in reading speed. Now, what are the barriers in reading speed? Number one is distraction. So we live in a society where we get distracted every now and then. After watching this video, you think that let us give a try and start reading. So when you start your first step of reading, your mobile rings. There is an urgent message, or somebody has updated something on Facebook, or somebody on an WhatsApp call. So there are a lot of distraction. Or even if you don't you are not surrounded with any of the technological distraction, there are something that distracts you, like the ambience of your place, the environment where are you reading, or sometimes it happens that your mental activity is not allowing you to read, right? Sometimes you feel that, okay, let's read a book, but at that time there is something that is very urgent for you, and that is there in your mind, and that is not allowing you to read. So that is also a psychological distraction. So there is environmental distraction, there is psychological distractions, and nowadays we have technological distraction also. Sometimes it becomes so much complex reading. When we want to increase the reading speed, it becomes complex. What we have to do? Do we need to focus on the sentences? Do we need to focus on the meaning? Do we need to focus on the interpretation? So a lot of things are going on, and it makes it, oh, what is going on? So it makes it a very complex things of reading. So what you have to make, this is one of the extreme barriers that we face. For an example, your exam is coming to very near, your exams are coming, and you want to read all the notes, but it becomes so much of complex. Like you want to read, you want to understand, you want to comprehend, you want to interpret, but all are juggling like anything. So it becomes some complex thing. So you say, let's leave it, don't read. But what I say is that it is also one of the barriers when we try to increase the speed in reading. And omitting words. As you have seen, we started with the video of Ishan from Tare Zameen Par. He said, the letters are dancing, madam. The letters are dancing. Because he tries to omit the words. Because for him, each and every word is having different kind of meaning, and they are dancing before his eyes. So he thinks that these words are distracting him so much that he doesn't understand. He tries to omit it. And omitting is a major cause, and it is one of the major barriers in reading. Then, most important barrier, that is unfocused. Unfocused means very simple to understand, that we are not focusing on what we are reading. When we read certain things, we are not focused about the readings at times. For an example, you are going through a journey in a train, and you want to avoid the tete-a-tete with other people. So what do? You pick up a book and you start reading. But you are unfocused. You are just reading for the sake of reading. You don't want to get into the interest of reading. So sometimes it becomes unfocused. For an example, generally it happens with the students, when they are reading for the exam point of view. So much of things are there to learn, to understand. So what they are doing, they are not getting into focused. What to read, when to read, how to read, and most important, why to read. So we are unfocused at times when it comes to reading. So it is also one of the major barriers in reading speed. The most important thing, that we never evaluate reading. We never evaluate our reading. Once we are done with the reading, it is on the back side. We don't touch. So we need to evaluate how much I understood, or how many new words I found from the reading. So what you can do is that when you are reading something and you come across a lot of words, a lot of new sentences, a lot of new phrases, idioms, figures of speech, sentence structures, you need to put it down in a diary. No doubt, Google हमारी माता है, इनको सब कुछ आता है. You put it on Google and you get lot of stuff like that. But you must understand that all this information are fed on this by us only. So what is more important is that you make a diary. So before this digital thing, in our schools, we used to have these diaries. We used to, if you can see your parents' textbooks or notebooks, they used to write in the margin the meaning of the words, the meaning of the idioms, right? And in this way, they were able to understand the sentence structure at a whole. So after that, still now, if you ask them the theoretical meaning or the interest level of their reading, they are able to give a proper response to you. While we ask nowadays to our students, what do you read? What do you do while reading? Or what you understand by reading? So they are only exam oriented. They don't want to get into the nuances of reading. So even if they don't read, they can submit the entire projects. Even if they don't read, they can submit the book reviews. Why it happens? Because the digital world has scattered a lot of things to us. I'm not saying something against the digital world, but I'm saying that we need to have a hard copy with us while we are reading. And when we are reading, our all senses get into it and we understand the meaning in a crux. So whenever you are reading any new thing, any book, any storybook, even newspaper, you will get to know a new information, a new cluster of words. Write it down and come to the meaning and utilize those words in a new situation. And this will surely help in your ability of reading and making you a good person in the society. And most important thing is practice. My dear friends, whenever you are doing reading thing, you can do more practice, and practice makes a good effort for reading. The moment you start for reading, it starts your practice, right? So practice, practice and practice, and this will give an extra hand for your reading. That's all, my dear friends. Hope you have understood the reading, meaning, types, concept, purpose, reading speed, and barriers of reading speed. I must say that today's generation should follow reading because reading makes you a full person. Good personality comes from the things that we read, that the things that we know. So to understand, to gather information, and to have an excellent vocabulary, you start reading. Thank you.